Good morning. I'm doing a lot of videoing because I have time off right now. Once I get going and have been here for a while, my days will be full. I'll get back in my routine of exercise and practicing Spanish and reading the Bible and making plans for the future, etc., etc. But for right now, I'm videoing a lot because I'm just trying to get settled in and resting up. Me and Daisy are heading to, I'm going to say it wrong, Saguaro National Park. It's those big, characteristically Arizona cactuses. I forget how to say it. I want to say saguaro, but that's not right. I don't think there's a G in there. I think I'm just adding it. It's an overcast day, and there's mountains up there, and there's I don't know if you can see it, there's a hot air balloon up there. I'm driving, so I'm not going to do, perfection on the view. But anyway, we're heading there. It's only like an hour and a half away. And I can mark one more off my bucket list of national parks. Sit down and be quiet, Daisy. We're not getting out. Sit down and take a nap. Right now, take a nap. Lay down. Take a nap. She gets that way the first half hour of a trip. But anyway, so today we're gonna, hopefully I can find some kind of hike on the way. Maybe, I think they also have a welcome center, so I'll go in there and look at their little mini museum. I'm sure they'll have one. Oh, there goes an Airstream. So that's about it, really. I'm excited. Finally, I feel like I actually am like, okay, let's get back to work. I work 2 on, 1 off, and is my next schedule. And there's a time where I'm going to have 5 off in the end of the month and in a row, and I thought, gosh, that'd be perfect. I wanted to go hike into the Grand Canyon, like a 3-day trek. As a kid, I went down like a couple miles with my family and then came right back up. But I'd really like to go to the base, camp out for a night, and then hike back up. It is on my bucket list, but I went to actually do reserve a guided tour. I thought that'd be great. Go down with a group. There's nothing available. Absolutely nothing. So I would have to, you have to apply for an overnight pass, it looks like. And I might have to go it alone. So I'll put Daisy in a kennel. I've got to find a kennel. And I'll do the 1-day trek down, spend the night, and then come back the next day. So hopefully I can reserve that, because that would be something really epic to do and full of exercise, which would be good for me. And then Jenny Craig they have meals that are unrefrigerated, and then I obviously can bring some stuff that's fruit related with me. But you have to track a lot of your water down with you. And so just to get down there, I have to have, I think, almost 2 gallons on me, which is a lot of weight. If you've ever carried anything for a long period of time, that's a lot of weight. So sleeping gear and camping gear, all of that would have to be pretty darn lightweight. So I'm going to have to check the temperature out there at the valley inside the canyon and see what the average temperature is for the end of January and kind of go from there. That's a lot of prep and a lot of money, because I accidentally left my sleeping bag in my trailer when I sold it. But it was too big anyway. It was one of those big it was like a deer hunting bag, it goes down to 30 degrees or whatever, and it's big fluffy, and it's made from a gun company. I forget which one. I got it at a yard sale. It's brand new. So I actually need a trekking bag, which is going to cost me a pretty penny. So I'm kind of busting the budget a little bit. This week I was just like, there's just stuff I needed. Like, I don't like being out in the West without a gas can. I do not like it, because you can go, over 100 miles without seeing a gas station here. So, and I like being on the road and finding out new stuff. So I bought a new tank yesterday, or 2 days ago, that big metal one. I haven't filled it up yet, but I always have one of those in reserve, but it was stolen. And I know it's not safe to keep a gas can in the cab. It's not full of gas yet, but I'm going to have to figure out a way to chain lock it down. I'm really half tempted just to go ahead and buy a bolt-down lockbox for the truck. Because I just, for what I do and where I go, it's so random. I'll be out in the middle of nowhere, or I'll be downtown a major city, and I just can't trust people. So I'm just going to have to invest a little more money, of course, into some good gear. A sealable lockbox with a gasket seal so it doesn't get wet. I hate that when you open a truck box and all your straps and everything are sopping wet and smell like mildew. So that drives me nuts. So I'm looking into doing that. Oh, there's an In-N-Out burger. I want to try that before I go. I haven't had one of those before. I've heard they're good. That's about it. I was just praying today. I got a new journal because my journal fell apart from the move, and a good one that can take packing and repacking over and over, and looking at my little schedule and just making plans. It just feels so good to get back into the swing of things. And it feels so good to be out today on a road trip. I work tomorrow, like I said, and it just feels good to get out into nature. Like the other day I made that video, and I was actually in town in Phoenix, and I said like it was a bonus, like look, over that mountain you can actually see downtown Phoenix, but really it crushed my soul because I don't want to see a city. I want to be in nature, secluded. And honestly, I know a lot of times us human beings, we get this idea, this picture idea in our head of a scenario we want to play out. Like you want somebody to say something a certain way, or you want your fiance to get down on one knee, that kind of thing. And it doesn't often work out how you want. But I had this idea of just sitting at the base of a canyon, or in front of a valley, sitting on a rock, this vast valley, and just sitting in the quiet, praying and journaling, reading the Bible, and Daisy sitting by me napping on the ground. Like, that's my romantic view of Arizona. And although I've driven through some amazing stuff, I haven't gotten to do that yet. And I really could use the downtime, because quite frankly, with living where I'm at, I have cable, which is really bad. That's not a good thing for me. And I struggle to turn it off. And I watch, I don't watch complete trash, but I also am watching just idle junk where I could be reading or something else that I normally do. Like if I were in my trailer right now, instead of watching TV, I would probably have an old movie on, I'm not gonna lie, in the background quietly, because that's what I sleep to, and everything is old movies. And I would probably be reading or making up a menu for next week or whatever. So yeah, I can't wait to get rid of cable. And I'm really getting excited about picking up my home. I think about it all the time, like, Lord willing, I get it. I just am so excited, like, to have a place to call home. I'm just over the moon about the idea of having something that's mine and that's nice and that doesn't have to be fixed up. I've never bought a house that wasn't a fixer-upper. Both of the houses I bought were in a place of disrepair when I bought them, and I had to hit the floor running. You know, my kitchen was falling apart in the last place I had, and, you know, it would be nice to move into something. And I get mad even watching videos on TV with like young couples talking about, we're going to buy our first home, and I don't want to walk in and have to do anything. I want the right color on the wall, and I don't want to have to put tile down, and I want a wraparound porch, and I want this and that. I'm just thinking, you selfish so-and-so. It's good for us to suffer as human beings. It brings out good stuff, the bad stuff too, but it makes us work it out. And oh my gosh, I think I've worked it out when it comes to housing. I had a quote that I've been just ruminating on, and I can't remember the guy's name, but it was a quote from a guy that went through Auschwitz. And I was in Oklahoma City passing through, and the Auschwitz traveling exhibit was there. So I was like, oh, I gotta see that. And I'm gonna have to preface what he said, but basically he said, you know, the pressure of Auschwitz and the horribleness of it brought out the best and the worst of humankind. For those that chose to build character or had killed character, it chiseled them out into the purest diamonds. And it also brought out the worst sinful sides of people in desperateness. You could basically see what's in their hearts. So those hard situations brings up to the top the bad stuff that we can often hide. You know, those hardship always brings what's really in your heart up to the surface. And so living in rough situations, I'm not going to say I've passed the test, but I am going to say that I think that the Lord's letting me move on from what I've been living like. And even now, you know, I'm fighting with these homeless people that are my neighbors and yelling through the wall when they're having relations too loud or praying too loud or cussing at each other too loud. And I'm really having to just the whole time forgive them. I forgive them. I forgive them. And so it's good to be stretched. It's really good to be stretched. And I'm so grateful for this lifestyle that stretches me every day and every 90 days. I'm working out my salvation. I'm having to duke it out and, you know, learn self-discipline and walk in it. And looking up scriptures about being meek. That word meek, me and my good friend Jody, that word means a lot to us because we're both strong women. But like, the word meek sounds like this measly person, but in all reality, if you look up the definitions, that you can find a couple, it's like a strong restraint, a choosing to hold your tongue. It's a strength, it's a discipline, and I lack it. And so this lifestyle makes me practice being meek, or at least attempting to. So anyway, Matthew 5:5, look it up. That's one of those scriptures talking about meekness that really hits home for me. Matthew 5:5. So I think that's about it for now. I'm going to keep on trucking. I think I got another 45 minutes before I reach the national park and get to enjoy God's nature. And as usual, I hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for watching. That's it. Bye.